Bong, 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 bong. Good evening, world. It's I, Caller John. And today we have a special guest on Dark Racial Humor.
Hello.
That's right. It's Fanning motherfucking Systems.
You can call me Philly to that for now.
Okay. It's FanningSystems.
Yeah.
FanningSystems, the viewers of Dark Racial Humor might not know who you are. We're a mix of platforms over here.
I produce and I rap too. You know, I've been in the game for about 20 years now, almost a little bit more. And, you know, we're just here doing what we do best. I was scheduled out after being scheduled in. See, I'm very happy to be here. However, there's a lot to be desired within this.
Wow.
The organization.
Wow. Okay, excuse me. Are you subscribed to Dark Racial Humor? On
Yes.
Twitch.tv.
I don't have a Twitch.
Twitch.tv/Dark Racial Humor.
When I get sleep.
You can also subscribe to us on iTunes, on Stitcher.
I don't have Stitcher or iTunes.
Spotify.
I got
yet.
Android Music.
We are on Google Play. Yeah.
Oh, bet. This is Android Music?
Yeah, there's thousands and thousands listening to Android right now.
I got one myself.
Wow. How was your day,
What
man?
do you have? You got the iPhone?
I have an iPhone.
Which number?
I'm not sure.
Because, you know, the number indicates the status.
I think 8.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's almost like 10.
Yeah, except it's not. It's 8.
20% away, right?
Yeah, they got
But
me, bro. How's your day, man? What'd you do
you know,
today?
I've been out here, man. I woke up. I hit the I did some cardio.
Cardio. Do you run a lot? Do you bike? What do you do?
Yeah, I do the bike, and then I do the stair stepper.
Damn. So is this bike? Is it a movie?
No. That's the catch. See, the bike doesn't move. You bike, and it tells you how many like miles and shit you've went. Which, in all fairness, you know, gives me the same way. This is a platform for me to go and talk. You know, the bike gives me it's a platform where I can kind of just sit and do my exercise and zone out. Because I was thinking a couple times, if I was doing that bike shit on the streets, I'd probably hit a car.
Yeah.
You know, it's all for the safety.
Yeah, there's cars out there.
There are. You know, I'm driving sometimes and I see the bikes in the street and I'm
you just
like,
want to hit them.
I know. I look over and I'm like, what the fuck kind of car is that, bro? That looks like you must get good gas mileage. But then I remember, you know, we gotta share the road and stuff with the cars and the bikes and some of the pedestrians too. From what I see,
skateboarders.
Yeah, I fuck with the skateboarders, but see, they go on the sidewalk.
I like how you introduced yourself by saying I produce and I rap too. I thought that was a funny line.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
That's it. No, that's is a. he just looked at me slyly. It's a Jamie line. Yeah. I Caller John have known this man's FanningSystems for a little while now.
Quite some time.
We
go way back. We used to have a hip hop group back in the early 2000s.
Yeah. Company Glow. Company Glow is our name.
Glow, yeah.
And we kept it to the street, you know.
Kept it together, and then, you know.
Sometimes you just break away.
Now we're back.
And this is it. This is the 20-year reunion.
We're making our big breakthrough again. You know, it's like a midlife crisis with a backwards spin to it.
A BS, if you will. I fuck with skating.
Yeah. I fuck with acronyms as well.
I hear they say skating is the 9th element to hip hop.
9th element.
Yeah, there's a whole list. We won't go into it now.
Shit, there's more than 4?
There's at least 9.
I remember it was groundbreaking when homies were suggesting there was 5. 9 elements. I mean, we are living in like the 10th dimension.
It's actually the 4th.
You know, it's the 4th. It was a bad joke. Yeah. But, you know.
I'm sorry. I have a dry humor here on Dark Racial Humor.
For sure. So tell me about the name, Dark Racial Humor. You know, I haven't... Initially, I didn't really click on it because I was like, dark racial humor. Like, I don't really fuck with like dark racial humor as like a humor genre. I got some dark humor, but like,
sure.
I don't bring race into it. I was just kind of wondering, like,
sure.
Yeah, I'm not gonna bullshit you and be like, oh, I don't see color. You know what I'm saying? It's 2018.
Sure.
Like,
that's only Bart. You know, he's colorblind.
Yeah, he's colorblind. He's
Shout out Mr. Barker.
Barker. Happy to be here in headquarters, sir. But you know, I was wondering, you know, what's the name? What's it about? Because I've listened a couple of times, and from what I've gathered, it's kind of just one of these.
No, it's a free-flowing, in-depth,
free-flowing. That's the word.
Free-flowing, in-depth conversational podcast about whatever's appropriate at the time.
So I guess where does the name Dark Racial Humor and whatever's appropriate at the time?
Myself.
That's also free-flowing. Where do they meet?
Myself and John Ben Bonjen.
Oh yes, who I very disappointed to hear that he's not joining us. This evening.
He died. It's rest in peace Bonjen all day. Hashtag dark racial humor Bonjen. Just get that circulating. He's not dead. That's not until next week.
I'll send him some flowers in advance.
Yeah. Sendyourflowers.com. We were walking down University of Arizona one day. I think we might have been just talking about a podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we were just saying random shit, but we just kind of, I think I said it randomly.
Oh, yeah.
And it both made us laugh. So, if it makes us two laugh, then it's somewhat of a, it's, at the end of the day, it's these two dudes behind the mic. Sometimes
Except for tonight.
Sometimes you got FanningSystems and other people, such as Jeff, the Invest. You have to have a podcast alias, dude. What's your podcast alias?
My name is Felicidad, like I said already.
Oh, I'm sorry, I must have glanced over it.
Glanced.
How long have you been?
Yeah,
So what do you do? You're a part of you're under the umbrella of Adobe House Records, are you not?
Yes.
I hear you're in Adobe House itself.
Yes, I am in the headquarters at the moment.
No, I'm talking about the group.
Yes, I am in the group. We've done many shows, and we're just working on our second studio album. I have a beat tape coming very soon.
Beat tape.
And
where can they find all that? Where can they find you?
The beat tape. You can find all of this Spotify, iTunes. All that DistroKid.
AdobeHouseRecords.com.
AdobeHouseRecords.com. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Sometimes, it's difficult. I got a lot of schedules and things. So
you get pushed back from a lot of schedules.
Yeah. Things get rescheduled. Things get unscheduled. Fucking people fuck up and tell me it's at this time.
It's your fucking.
It's a big head spin, man. And quite frankly, I slip up sometimes. Adobe House Records.
All because of you. Just like Abel would say.
I mean,
How long have you been producing for?
Find myself. I've been producing for almost 11 years now.
Actually, when did you start?
I started in roughly 2007.
Is that why did you do a smile after you said 2007, sir? Okay.
What are you asking me?
Okay, nothing. When did you start making beats, man?
Probably like around 2010, 2011.
Of what was that, middle school, high school?
I think that was like freshman year of high school, 8th grade, freshman year.
How did I end up knowing that, we did music? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Was that clear?
Not really. I don't know. I think we were both in music and we were both like the same shit, because everyone else, you ask them like, oh, you fuck with this group or these people, and they're like, nah, I don't. I listen to this Rack City song on the radio. I like it a lot. It's like, all right, for sure, like, no connection. But I don't know. I remember you sent me some joints, and we both were making music, and I was like, oh, word. Like, he's got a machine. Like, he's making beats. And, like, I remember the first beat you sent.
Which one do you remember?
It was like, pre-juvenalia, consecutive juvenalia.
Consecutive juvenalia.
That
can be found on callerjohn.bandcamp.com. And also probably look it up. Just Caller John on all streaming services. By now, you're hearing this 6 years in the future. We understand. It's fucking 2036 over there.
Just think it and it happens.
It's on streaming or whatever we use in 2036 now. If we still use twitter.com, give a hashtag to dark racial humor.
Yeah. I'll set an alarm for that.
Yeah. I have a reminder in my phone that says, "Do pandas exist?" It's in a couple years. I'm gonna see if they exist still.
They probably won't.
Yeah.
You ever eaten panda before?
I have not. I think the most eccentric, quote
obscure.
unquote. Yeah, it was alligator.
Oh, you had gator.
Yeah.
How was gator?
It's like pungent. It's kind of like tangy.
Yeah, I accidentally stepped on a lizard the other day, and I was thinking about it.
I had a lizard stuck in my room. Let's
talk about it.
So the door was left ajar. The main
Southwest desert lizard. People.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. That's the exact
the
brand.
genus.
That's the brand. That was the exact brand lizard that was in my room. It came in my room, and I was like, yo. I think the first time I saw it, I just saw something kind of squiggly squeeving around. And I was like, yo, it's a lizard. And I tried to catch it. And I didn't catch it on the first time. The first time I tried to hit it with the fucking shoe. Yeah.
Were you like trying to kill it and then clean it up, or what?
Yeah, I wanted it out. And the first thing, usually when I see some kind of small animal in my room, I go for the kill. I've never seen a lizard. Lizard's a little bigger.
Predator and their prey, of course.
It was a bigger fucking level, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, a lizard's just a miniature alligator. I feel you,
That's
bro.
what I'm like.
Very intimidating,
they
sure.
could grow at any second. I don't know. I gotta kill it.
Hulk strength.
I hit it with the shoe, didn't kill it. The tail fell off. No, I don't think it might have. I hit it with the shoe. It went under my table, kind of against my table, my wall, and it stuck there. I got a lizard in my room. Great. I wake up a couple days later, and the shit was out of its hole, and I got a bag, tried to grab it. The tail fell off. Didn't get it.
So, why don't you just try to remove it instead of like killing it and maiming it?
I just wanted it out.
It's just a lizard.
I was trying to get it out.
It doesn't know that.
I didn't end up. Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah, it's probably tripping. You should have gave it some weed.
Or
like give it some stuff.
They don't eat weeds.
No, they do.
Lizards?
I'm no expert, but my cousin is.
Oh, I'm an expert.
So is my cousin.
Okay, I'm not your cousin.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, I stepped on. I don't know. I like the animals. You know, I'm big on animals. I was walking the other day. It's funny that you mentioned lizard. I was walking and I stepped down and I felt like the head of the lizard like made contact with my shoe, like kind of hard.
What did it think?
I was about to continue stepping, but I was like, yo, shit, you're about to, like, crack this lizard open.
Did the lizard...
I jumped out of the way, and the lizard looked at me, and I looked at the lizard, and it was a very interesting moment in time.
Did you absorb the lizard's thoughts?
We didn't make communication. I don't think Apple has anything for that yet.
Word.
Or the Google Play Store, for that matter.
The Google
Shout
Play.
out Android.
Damn, dude, shout out. That brings us a good time to our sponsors for today's Dark Racial Humor number 8. Android the robot. Thanks.
Beep, beep, boop, bop.
That's it. You keep the lights on and the toilet a-flushing.
Yeah.
I like to keep it hot, keep it sticky, you know what I mean? Like it's goddamn a little sticky in the...
A little sticky in the ickies.
Sticky. Do you watch Jesus and Mero, bro?
I do not. You know, I have a hard time watching any of these podcasts because I find myself...
It's not podcasts. It's on Vice now.
Vlog, TV shows, whatever. I find myself... There's so much time in the day. 23 and like 8/10 of an hour, I believe.
Yes. It's actually 22 hours. They just put it down.
I don't have time for this shit, man. Like...
Okay.
There's school, there's work, there's fucking car stuff, there's fucking music stuff. I gotta kick it. I gotta like pretend that I like people, you know. I gotta do all this shit, and it's like, high key, like I've watched the little snippets. Jesus and Mero, like they're funny guys. They got jokes
throughout the day. Do you ever have a time? But like high key, do you ever have a like where you're just not doing anything? Be real, like 100% real, high key.
Whenever that time happens, I end up. Like it stops real quick because I'm like, yo, you're not doing shit. Like, go make a beat, go read a book, like go do something.
Yes.
So like, yes, I guess the thing is like on the scale of like what's productive.
What do you do when you're being least productive? But like you're not doing you're not always when you're doing nothing. You're always doing something. You know what I mean? You're not just sitting there on your bed.
I pick up a book and I start to read. That's probably like the baseline, like. Not baseline. That's probably like the lowest of the production scale. Is like, but even that's productive because reading's, you know, food for thought.
You never have a time where you're being like, oh, I'm not doing shit right now. I gotta go do something.
I mean, I'm always like doing stuff. I
all times of the day.
Not when when I wake up, I'm sleeping, and then after that, I'm going to the gym. After that, I'm like, I got to shower. You know what I'm saying?
How often what's your sleep schedule like? Maybe you got extra time in the morning that you could utilize, perhaps.
Well, I go to bed usually at around 1-ish.
Okay.
And I wake up. I got to be at class by 12. So I'm usually up by like 11.
11. What if you woke up at 7? That's 7 hours of sleep. That's 6 hours. Okay, maybe you woke up at 8. That's 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah, I thought about this. The sleep isn't really something I'd like to compromise on. In fact...
You know, you got. Well, okay.
You've got to make compromises, of course. That's why that's why I keep it in the fast lane, so we make time. You know,
time is valuable as fuck, and if you try to be in the fast lane, you got a couple hours that you're not being in the fast lane. Is all I'm saying.
Oh yeah. You know, you got to stop and get gas,
No, I mean you're sleeping.
Lottery ticket is. I need the sleep, man. I've tried to run on like the 5 hours, the 6 hours.
7.
Seven's
a lot. You sleep from 1 to 11?
7's a lot.
10 hours?
What are we in war right now?
10 hours.
7's a lot of sleep, soldier.
It is.
I mean,
that's 7 hours. Think of what you could do in 7 hours. Say if you didn't sleep.
I could.
An extreme.
I could mix 14 beats, roughly.
Sure. But you're asleep. What if you were asleep for 6 and you got 2 hours? You know what I'm saying?
Sleep for 6 hours. Yeah.
Do the math.
No, yeah, the math is rather easy. I don't produce that well on shitty sleep or when I feel that.
Have you really tried though? Have you like tried to have a regimen in the morning?
Yeah, no, I've tried to like do that. Well, problem with that is that unless I wake up at like 9 and I'm like when I say wake up, I mean like unless I'm like ready to go out and shit at 9, it's kind of like the gym is fucking like an hour basically. Yeah. And I go back and I got to shower off and everything. That's another like 20 minutes. So if I do that, I can do that at 9. If I might say the example is like 10 a.m. If I do that, by the time I get back, it's going to be like 11:30. I have class at noon. I got to go to the fucking thing and park my car and shit. Like, there's just not enough time. Then
get up earlier. At 7:45 and go to the gym at 8:30. And you're done by 9:45 and you got 10 and you got an hour before class.
Yeah, that's just not in the cards.
It's also a lot better healthily, like for you fucking just like I definitely feel 100%. Overall better.
No, I agree with that actually.
And I'm fucking yoked.
Yeah, I noticed it. You look like you're ready to lift a couple of cars.
I'm gonna lift both Priuses.
Oh, word!
Yeah.
See, the thing with the sleep though is it's not really about when it's not about when you wake up in the morning. It's about when the fuck you go to sleep.
Yeah,
that's the biggest problem. Now, see, my problem is I have a sleeping disorder that basically it's not insomnia or any of that shit. But
you got the little kids under your bed disorder.
No, oh gosh,
where they're just playing with toys. And
no, it's just I basically lie in bed and after a certain point. Sometimes at like 9 p.m., 10 p.m., I'll get tired. And on those nights, if I catch myself and I'm like, yo, just go lie in bed and read until you fall asleep. And then you fall asleep at like before 11. That's beautiful. I'll wake up in the morning and go to the gym and shit. Bomb. I got a problem. But when I lie in bed and it's like a little late, like at 10 p.m., like once the sun goes down, I get energized. I don't like this daytime sunny shit. All of that. That's probably why I got vitamin D deficiency. I like the nighttime. I'm a night creature. I'm like a cockroach in this shit. Anyway,
being wide awake at 10 a.m. is the best thing that's
great.
Ever
Don't get me wrong. Like I've been there. Like having everything. Like looking at the clock and it's like 12:45.
The energy at night.
Everything's done.
Is no bueno.
Everything's done at like 12:45.
Especially when you got shit and obligations during the day, like a fucking university.
Exactly. I have real trouble falling asleep at night and like not even falling asleep. It's not because. In order to fall asleep, you actually have to be like mentally ready to go to sleep. I have a really difficult time getting like mentally able to go to sleep and like lie in bed because even sometimes I'll lie in bed.
You just don't want to go to your bed?
No, I'll lie in bed and I'm like I get awake when I lie in my bed. I feel tired if I go to the store or some shit. If I'm like, oh, I need to go grab water. I forgot something. I'll go to the store and grab water. I'll feel tired.
To make you more tired?
No. What are you talking about?
Like you do that to make you more tired?
If I notice that I need to get water. Then I'll get water. Mm-hmm. It's like if I need to get something, I'll get something. Right? When I go and do that, I'll notice like, yeah, I'm tired. But once I get back into my like lab, my workspace, I'm back at it. I'm wide awake.
It's you went to go do something, dude. You're supposed to really just like be there and be like fucking still.
That's where I was about to go with
doing
this.
Nothing.
That's where I was about to go with this. Was that when I lie there still and do nothing? There's been numerous nights where I look at the clock and it's like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. Fucking check again, like 2:45, and I'm lying there, and it starts to get really like I can feel it in my skin. I'm like turning hard.
Why are
you
looking at the clock and shit?
I can't sleep. What do you do? What do you do after you've been lying down? No, that's the thing. It doesn't work. Like it's not that easy. It's really not that easy. You close your eyes for so long, and then you turn over and you realize, yo, I haven't drifted off at all. I haven't even gotten close.
You're still thinking about shit.
Exactly, yeah, because your fucking mind is awake.
That's what I was saying.
That's what I was saying. Clearing your mind is a mind state. That's not an activity that you just go and decide to do.
Not really, as well as I just said. That fucking you drift off into sleep while you're in thought.
You do, but that's how sleep works. I don't know. I got a problem with sleep.
Sleep is not known / dreams very well in any kind of community. Maybe other communities.
Is what?
Is not very well understood.
Yeah, it's one of the lesser known sciences. But
that always intrigues me.
It's also, you know, it's different because nobody fucking knows, you know, and that's why I stopped going to doctors for this shit. Because they either want to tell you something that you already know.
It's very individual as well.
That it like each and every person is different, and not to mention it goes back to diet too. Because like people don't know. Like I try to eat healthy. Like people, you're eating fucking frozen food at McDonald's and shit. Like yeah, you're gonna have all sorts of trouble. But it's like, you know, people don't know that, so they always assume the worst. And you explain to them, it's like, yeah, it is individualized. But then, you know, it's difficult because like the doctors either tell you what you just told me, or you know, which I already knew, or other shit which you already knew. Or they go and they're like, oh, I got you pills for this. And it's like,
yeah,
like that doesn't really fix anything.
Yeah.
You know, like there is a time when I take Benadryl to fall asleep, like 75 to 100 milligrams of Benadryl. And like, that's stupid as fuck. Any state dependency to
sleep sucks, dude.
100%. And so.
Or be awake too.
Well, that's the other end of the coin. Is like my situation was like that. It was like, word, do you want to like go to sleep, or do you want to like be up until 5 a.m. when you have shit to do first thing tomorrow, like 9 a.m. sort of thing? It's kind of like, well, fuck, like you need to go to sleep.
Yeah.
And so it puts you, you know, you kind of have your back against the wall in that regard.
And that's what makes you sleep sometimes.
What?
And that what makes you sleep sometimes, having a fucking back against the wall. So you're like, shit, I gotta sleep.
I mean, no, because then you're sleeping, because, you know, there's like sleeping out of dependency on a substance is bad, but also like sleeping out of like having your back against the wall. You should fucking sleep because you're tired and you've had a full day and you've exerted your energy and now you're ready to go to sleep and recharge.
Do you exert your energy enough?
Oh yeah, I go a little too hard. This is also why it's like difficult, because like that's the other thing with doctors. Are always like, you go to the gym and shit. I'm like, yeah, bro. Like you see my fucking, you see my stats. I cannot nap.
Don't nap.
I have an. See, it's not even like nighttime falling asleep. Like I see other people that like fall asleep, like John Ben falls asleep. Like it's nothing. Like at like 3 p.m. I wish I could do that.
Yeah.
I wish and even other people that like when it's nighttime they fall asleep in like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Even when I was younger, before like the sleep problems and the drugs and shit, I noticed like I fall asleep in like 60 to 80 minutes.
Yeah.
None of this 15-minute like none of that. Like but then again, it's also like.
Has that ever changed? Like, have you always been like that?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Is like even when I was younger, like before everything else, I noticed that I'm not falling asleep in 15 minutes. I'm falling asleep in like an hour. But
think it's mental at all?
Yeah, it's mental. I can't fucking keep my mind from stopping.
I mean, obviously,
that's like literally no. Like I kind of figured this out a little bit ago. Is like. Or just, it goes back to having anxiety. It's you can't keep your fucking mind from stopping. It keeps you from sleeping.
Not to put in the levels of it, but maybe you're just thinking about your thinking too much.
Yeah, that's it. Well, that's the anxiety is, and it goes back to that because like anxiety, like cornerstone of anxiety is not being able to control your thought, like your thought process.
What did you take out of that of the Chomsky bit? We went to a conference of the 2018 some kind of consciousness convention. Noam Chomsky talked, and another Frenchman, another white man.
Yes, many white folks. Very.
There was a lot of old white people.
Yeah, it looked like the fucking.
Do you think we were the youngest? I brought this up with someone else.
Looking around, yes.
Yeah, right.
Maybe there was like
there were some younger people
on the other side of the room.
There were some younger people, but like I was like, yeah,
we were younger than the younger people.
Yeah. That's pretty interesting. And it was like a thing that like people like flocked to. Like this guy fucking ended up talking to us at the end. I was like, "Oh, you guys first timers here?" And like this guy like came to Tucson, Arizona for this convention.
Yeah, it was a thing. It had a following.
They had lanyards.
Yeah, no, they had everything. You know, it's funny too. Yeah, they had Oh yeah.
It was like seeing the dead. Is the joke?
It was. That was a joke of the night. There were all these fucking old people, and here we are like.
You love the dead too. It was pretty weird. What
did you take away from it?
Not a lot, honestly. Nothing really stuck to me.
I'll tell you the two things that got me.
It was very cool. Not to say there was not good things, but there was a lot. Like it was dope.
There was some fluff.
I don't remember a lot of it.
Then again, see, like I kind of the sciences. I'm not much of a science guy. I like Chomsky.
It was very dense.
I like his politics. The science stuff. There's plenty of fucking pre-med kids over at the university that can go and take care of that. But
two things that stuck out.
What you say doesn't fucking matter. Ever. Because to you yourself, when you say something, it's like, yeah, you heard what I said because I said it. When you say that to somebody else, like they heard what you said because you fucking said it. Basically, like, yeah, that's true, but as they were saying, like, no, that's not the case. But at the same time, it is the case. It was more of, it wasn't really I don't think this one's much of a takeaway as much as it is like an arguing point for me and this is a platform. But
all we all hear is a big ass platform. Yeah, and we love to give that platform to people.
Oh yeah,
shout out Aubrey. You might know him as Drake. Just shout him out real quick. Continue.
And then the second thing was just a reminder. Like you're not into this science shit, dude. Like you're into the political like ideologies and shit. Like don't expect to be just me from my perspective. Like I'm not into the sciences and shit. Like don't expect to like not be bored sitting through this. And also like, man, just because it's Tucson and there's a million people here doesn't mean that you like show up 30 minutes early. That parking business was shitty. Other than that, though, don't be rolling through 9 minutes before it's scheduled to start.
One thing after it was on the car ride home. We're talking about like speaking in different languages, and I said a Spanish word out loud, and it was just not a great accent for Spanish. It was fucking shit accent. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, yeah, in my head it's kind of like I say it right is what I say with mental quotations, you know what I'm saying? Right. Because in your head it's kind of like you are tricking yourself into thinking that like that's how you hear
it's
that.
All good.
You hear that, and so and that shit's completely different than the fucking even just the different part of your brain that fucking does language and fucking physical tongue sounds. That kind of high key open. It was a very
the perspective is a very strong component to like.
I think that's what I'm sorry. Continue.
Oh no! Just perspective is like a strong component to all of this. Like communication, getting things communication is everything. So I guess that's kind of all there is to say.
Yeah, I mean,
part
of the human.
Hand gestures go a long fucking way.
That's what kind of the guy on the white guy. They were all white. Or the younger guy on the right side of the couch.
Oh, the dude looked like Larry David?
No, the one to the right of him.
Oh, yeah.
He was like a talker. Not like the Larry David guy was like a moderator, somewhat. There was like two moderators. There's like an MC and then a Q&A moderator.
yeah, it was quite silly.
And then the guy to the right of the Q&A moderator. He basically said like you trick yourself into thinking you think whatever I'm saying is I'm like meaning to say that, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They were talking about language is basically just a thought carrier, you know what I'm saying?
I do know.
You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
It is. See, that was interesting. I remember that part too, and that had me in thought because, again, like going back to anxiety, it's like, yeah, what you think is just not necessarily what you think is distorted, but like there's not 100% transparency across like what you say and think, and versus like what's put down and what's picked up. You know,
it's like I remember shout out Echo.
Shout out Echo. I remember
saying to him,
I know him.
He was being he was kind of like going through something at the time, and I was like, you could just stop being anxious, you know? And he's like, you can't. And it's like, you could just go to sleep, you know? And you can't.
See, that's the thing, you can't.
And that's always very individual.
But see, what's not, in my opinion, that is individual, yes. But the part that isn't individual is it has to be understood that you can just not be anxious or just the phrase, you're mad about something or you have a problem with something. Oh, just let it go. All of that stuff. It's said as though it's an activity. You just go and do it. Go get me something from the fridge. It's said as though no. It's said as though it's a very simple activity where in fact it's a whole change of mindset. And that's first off, most people they don't get that part because they don't even get as far to realize because it's like, well, fuck, that's an activity. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But then two, it's like it's a change of mindset. That's a whole that's a life thing that you focus on doing. So it's like. But it goes both ways because it's like just be less anxious. Like
change your mindset if you're one day. You just be like, all right, I'm gonna change.
You can make forward motion.
You don't think that?
I don't think
possible at all.
What do you mean possible?
Possible, the word.
Well, no, but like I'm saying, like it's not that easy. That's what I'm saying. Like, what do you mean by possible? You can make a lot of progress. And
there's someone who woke up, say they had anxiety, and they were like, something just clicked in them, and they were like, okay, this is like somewhat irrational. Or maybe it's
100%. The second time I took DMT when I actually broke through, it was like that. It was like, the switch got flipped on. And I was like, word. And it was like that for roughly like 5 or 6 months after the fact.
Yeah.
So in that regard, yes. But that's an outside substance, yada, yada.
Yeah.
It's different.
But I mean, you take that shit, even like you take a fucking prescription thing you take an outside substance to affect your inside.
Yeah, to make something, exactly.
And then if you remember, just remembering that reasoning and that thought process.
In that vein, yeah, sure. And one day, like, you can, like, change. However, it's not that easy because you got to keep in mind most people with anxiety. Anybody that you just see that's like, oh yeah, I have anxiety, and they don't like have any like obvious symptoms or anything, they probably don't have anxiety, and whatever they're feeling, they've probably only felt it for maybe 4 weeks tops.
Yeah.
The thing is, most people that have anxiety, they've been dealing with like maybe not necessarily anxiety is what they've been dealing with, but they've been dealing with other mental shit for many years.
Yeah.
The thing, and that goes back with the whole fucking thing of like, you know, just stop being anxious or just do this, just do that. Is that
it's something that's
you
been
can't
programmed
really
for a minute.
It's not that easy to undo. Yeah, you can't do like you can't undo 730 days of negative thinking.
Yeah.
In one day.
Yeah.
That you can make a lot of forward motion in one day, but you can. That's I guess is what I was getting at, is kind of with like not being able to change it all overnight.
Yeah.
Or like just in one day, is that most people that have been like actually legitimately dealing with this shit, they've been dealing with it for so long that it's like ingrained in their personality and like in their genes, if you will.
Yeah.
And shit, like that's them.
The programming of their brain. I think they had the analogy at the convention of something along the lines of computer brain.
And certain things, the body goes under genetic changes. You know, if you're living with crippling anxiety and you can't leave your house for 5 years, that shit's in your genes.
Yeah.
That's gonna hit you if you're fucking like brutally raped and traumatized and then victimized by the police and shit. That's in your genes. Yeah. That's gonna change you. Like, it's that sort of thing that
biologically.
Yeah. It actually creates a biological change, and that's the sort of thing that kind of like, I guess I don't want to say separates, but yeah, a lot of people don't know what the fuck anxiety is because they only know like that one person that they know that like says they are anxious or that they're depressed, but in actuality, you see how they act and how they go about their day, and it's like obviously like it's not that bad because they're doing everything they're supposed to be doing.
In the fucking lane of fucking language, using language, saying just anxiety is a blanket thing because there's so many like
so many different forms of it. Yeah,
and just like
there's
even ways that I've come met people, to that state, or even ways.
Yeah, no, I've met people that literally they're outgoing, they're social and everything, but they have anxiety about eating food around other people. Yeah, but yeah, it is very you know, obviously if you say something like social anxiety, that's relatively universal across the table. There's like a few like key components, like agoraphobia, like fear of like places and going outside and shit, is like a pretty common one, and then like
population. That's interesting.
Yeah, no, like there's a couple like cornerstones which like the same. I wonder what other like, shit like eating anxiety is like a really big blanket.
I wonder what in the human DNA is so common that makes it population, a mass population makes people feel unnerved. I think now probably to a bigger extent, people are like just getting assimilated with having this giant amount of people near them all the time.
I don't know. I think it's a mixture of like insecurity mixed with like frustration, because clearly if you don't feel comfortable, you don't feel secure. Yeah. So that it's like it's
the comfortability of like shit. It's the little lizard brain that says, "Oh, I might be in danger here." It's
trauma. The trauma that you go through in the past, or like the trauma that your fucking parents have been through, or so on and so forth.
The shit in the DNA.
That shit carries the fuck on. That's why it's like
now it's just in the technology social world.
Yeah. Like I saw. No, that shit carries on. Like I saw this fucking Instagram video of this kid, like little kid, like maybe 8 years old, playing Fortnite. And he's like in his underwear on the TV, and his dad like kicks him out. He's like, "Get the fuck out of here! Like, go outside and all that shit." And in my head, I'm like, "Yeah, like that's the shit I do. You need to get outside. Like, you need to get your kid outside." But at the same time, it's like, "Yo, shit like that damages the fuck out of a kid."
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily that like one event's gonna turn everything upside down, but it's like that one event or one thing that fucks you up builds up into something else, and all it takes is like further down the line one thing that just it's like a downward spiral
down the line.
But at a certain point, it's like there's always like one thing in that downward spiral that accelerates the process and makes it more fucked up. So it's like it's very genetic. It's very genetic, and I think that's kind of like that's what nobody wants to hear, and that's what everybody wants to hear.
What do you mean?
If it's genetic, everyone wants to hear it. It's not my fucking problem. It's genetic, you know. It's a single-handed way to just it's not my problem. It's genetic. Fuck it. That's one state of mind in which it's like that's what everyone wants to hear. Yeah, and then the state of mind where it's like that's not what you want to hear is the people who actually want to fix it. It's like it's genetic. The fuck, like you know what I'm saying? Like I was born with AIDS, dog. It's genetic. Like what the fuck? I don't want this. Like you know, it's the same exact thing. If you really want to fix it, you're really about fixing it and shit. Being like, yo, it's genetic. That's like, well, fuck. That changes everything. And if you do have anxiety, that's probably going to give you more anxiety on the day-to-day basis of making sure that you and yours and whoever you pass on in the future, that they don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, it goes...
You gotta pass on people?
Yeah.
Why?
No, you don't have to. You don't have to. You can do whatever you want. I want to pass on people.
Blah, blah.
Yeah, like, I want to pass on people. I want
you?
Kids, yeah.
Why?
Because I love the fuck out of myself. And I want, it's a kingdom, you know.
And
God's
you want a
kingdom.
little you to look
No, not
over.
even a little you. Just like
a reproduction.
2
out
or
of
3.
you.
Just 2 or 3. I want to see a kid that comes from me and another woman that like looks.
You don't think that's selfish?
What do you mean?
You're bringing life. You're bringing life out of a self inward want.
Yeah, I'd like my genes to be passed on.
You don't think that's weird in a way?
Living, I mean, see, it's a survival thing.
Yeah,
that's how initially it was. I don't think they were thinking like, "Yo, I want a me because I'm me." They were like, no. "Yo, like
it's in your
we're
DNA.
Running out of space. We need to move." Like everyone was nomadic up until
2006.
No, but for a long time, everyone was nomadic, and like up until like the fucking even Homo sapiens were nomadic for a mad long time. So hominins and all those fuckers were like,
I call bullshit, sir. I need sources.
I'll pull it up, but like
right now.
Anyway. Yeah, it's not as selfishness out of that. I can get how people are like, yo, that's selfish because there's so many people on this earth, and I understand that completely.
So my thing is, why say it's out of self-love shit rather than just say, yeah, this is my DNA survival technique.
Because loving yourself is a part of your DNA. If you look at people that are fucked up and have problems, their problem is like, yeah, sure, they got problems, but if they all got the common trend that they don't love themselves, and that kind of is indicative of a bigger problem that...
So what do you think that means?
Which?
Loving themselves.
Doing what's right for you, and not. It's difficult coming from someone with anxiety. That, like when you have anxiety, you're always like beating down your own neck, and it's like, well, fuck, you did this, you did that, you fucked up. Like, shit, B. And obviously, you can't like just tell yourself to stop thinking about it. You tell yourself to stop thinking about it, and then you start thinking about how other people actually can do that and how you can't. That just makes it worse. So,
you ever fucking like meditate, like breathe?
Yeah. I was doing that meditation thing for a minute. It helped, but I started to notice I get extremely like.
Fancy?
Yeah, like
that's part of it.
Like fucking bugging. Like by like 5, like I'd open my eye, like look at the stop clock, and it would say like 6 minutes, and I'd be like, holy fuck.
Okay, well that's not like, meditating good.
No, not at all. Then, in fact, that's like hardly meditating.
But that's what like you're supposed to be practicing.
Right.
Too.
No, yeah. That I don't know how to. That's the thing. I have trouble calming down.
Okay, well that's part of the practice.
No, yeah, no, I know.
And
that's
you
part
do
of the
that
practice.
enough, and you see, I don't know, you see what kind of triggers you, and start thinking about shit, start opening your eye,
and
take note of that.
It's other people. That was my thing. That's
okay.
I've been through all these like
in the middle of New York Times.
Nah.
Do you do it in a room by yourself?
Yeah.
Then how's there other people? Besides,
you realize what, you said you realize what, like, it is that gets you and triggers anxiety. That was my response. There's other people.
Okay, well, then you're in your mind. There's no other people in your mind.
No, I'm talking about on a day-to-day basis. There's other people, like, out. When you stay in your mind, you create the secrecy. I stayed in my mind for a very long time, and it led me to I don't want to say it, but let's just say it had some very detrimental outcomes on me. Mm-hmm. And so that's why I'm kind of, building it back up and stuff. The mind is a dope place.
Have you ever been silent in your mind? Is what I'm saying.
What do you mean, like just
silent,
like still water?
Yes. There's no thoughts running through, and when there are thoughts, you're like, okay, that was a thought. It's now time not to think again. Have you ever had a silent mind, Jonathan?
The second part about like, it's time not to think again.
I've experienced not in those conscious words.
Well, yeah.
Especially that, because when you say, now it is time to think again in my head.
No, that's the problem. No, I don't have it still. No, it's always like, it's like fucking a 7-Eleven.
You're always too conscious.
Extremely.
Okay. So, have you, not trying to be as conscious of your thoughts? You never practiced that as much?
I don't really know how to do that. Like, because for me, like the meditation thing, I did that for like several weeks. I noticed that I wasn't any less like overly conscious in my head.
Can I quote a brand?
A brand?
Yes.
Nike.
You just do it.
You just do it.
You just do it.
You just do it.
But like it's not. It's just
you
like
just do it. No, it's so much.
Not tell yourself.
Easier
You
said
just
than
kind
done.
of just do it.
No, you just do it. That's how you do a lot of things.
It.
Yeah. I mean, I still like. I need to get back to it and do it some more. Lately, what's been helping with me is writing.
Okay.
Like writing, not lyrics or graffiti, but like books and whatnot. So that's what I've been kind of like.
Okay, let me ask you this: like, say you're just going through your day. Say you're at the U of A. Do you usually listen to music or no?
Yeah, I listen to music. Sometimes I like to hear the ambience.
So when you're thinking in your head, is there just sentences of like inner monologue type shit? Or what's the kind of language that is in your head?
I narrate to myself, but sometimes I notice there's like not like talking to myself, but like there's a couple more people up there.
Okay.
That we're all conversing.
Okay.
Which is kind of like it sounds really bad. It's not that bad. But it's like, you get what I'm saying? Kind of like because usually it's just like I'm narrating like what I'm doing. Low
is that
key
a thing over there? Yeah, it's a thing over there. Okay,
kind of more like yo, like why are you thinking that? It's like you're thinking that because X Y Z, and everyone's like, nah, you're thinking that because of this, and I'm like, no, like I kind of like a little bit of both. Like y'all are both wrong.
See, me personally, I don't. A lot of the time, just have like conscious sentences in my head that I'm saying.
Really? What do you think of?
I think nothing a lot of the time. High key, like
really
when I coming back from that consciousness trip, and you kind of have an elevated type of consciousness when you come from those things. So,
did you take some acid on that shit?
And so no, it's fucking that's Chomsky, dude. Chomsky gets you up.
All right, yeah.
It's like there was more conscious statements being said to myself in my head. You know what I'm saying? Just not even to myself, thinking of like things.
Can you give an example?
Like,
just so I can get a better idea.
I mean, say for example, the language, like talking about saying language in your head and then saying it out loud. There was more of conscious logic in the form of sentences.
Like you were thinking about what you were saying?
Yes. No, not even what I was saying, just about an idea.
Oh, okay.
There was more I was saying sentences in my head more. And usually I'm not like...
Well, I think of concepts.
Uh-huh.
Like, because I
don't have sentences in my head a lot, I think.
Really?
Yes.
See,
yes.
It's funny you say that. Everyone has their inner voice. And I was doing some reading on this alcoholism forum. And a lot of people, they talk to themselves when they're drunk.
Yeah.
And it's basically their inner like voice that's always running on throughout the day. Keep in mind, a lot of people that are problem drinkers also have struggle with anxiety. Mm-hmm. To very large like correlation. But like
they're saying their head out loud when they're drunk.
They start like it was someone was like, yeah, like my boyfriend's like talking to himself and shit. And I was reading it and like reading what other people were saying, and it was like, yeah, like someone else hit the nail right in the head in the forum. I was just like going through another night like tired, like trying to go to sleep and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, like, yeah, real shit. Basically what the person said was like, you know your thoughts that you think of throughout the day that you don't say or that you don't even like give the platform for whatever reason. Sure. It doesn't really matter, but like basically it's like, nah, it's not like crazy you're talking to yourself. It's just like you're drunk, and I guess there's certain dopamine's firing off, and that triggers something else to start getting produced, yada yada. But it kind of just inhibits like what would stop you from speaking otherwise.
It turns your inhibitors off.
Yeah. Disinhibits.
But those inhibitors are kind of like that. Isn't kind of interesting because you have like social cues that you've kind of programmed into your mind.
Yeah.
And when you're under an intoxication of, let's say, alcohol, then those kind of are lesser. You know, it's interesting.
Yeah, no, it is.
Like that's a part of your brain that it's taken out, and that's a part of like a social. Thing.
That's exactly why a lot of people with alcoholism are like severely damaged from anxiety and stuff.
Huh.
Which is also like a very big thing. It's interesting though, like substances. Mm-hmm. See a lot of people smoking weed.
Mm-hmm. It's a big one these days,
and it just seems like a lot of people, right? It just seems like a lot of people are smoking weed, and it's kind of as though like they're not getting. I don't want to say it's as though like they're drunk.
It's their abuse.
It's their no. I know not everyone has their thing. I mean, it's like they're drunk. It's like cannabis like disinhibit, like turns off their inhibitors.
Oh,
like that, you know what I'm saying? That's what I've noticed. Like it would seem that way, but then again, it goes back to language. Like what you think it seems like ain't actually what it is, or maybe it is. You know, like you can spend your whole life thinking about it. You know? But no, that's
I
what
got
I've
this paper due at 6.
Yeah, like that's what I've noticed is that it seems like a lot of people who smoke weed and they get like the anti-anxiety effects and the uplifting and all like these like effects, and I just find it like it's interesting. I've always thought that like it's interesting how people respond to drugs and stuff.
I tend to think that's also your perspective putting into that opinion.
I would not be surprised if it was this. We're working on it. But.
Yeah, we got a guest right now, Mr. John Cena. Just kidding.
Word.
I like to have fun here on the podcast.
Right on. I've been staring at that jacket I gave John Ben.
Which one?
I just gave the accomplice one.
The grayish,
the beige.
Tan?
Yep.
I see. It's a nice jacket. I fuck with the accomplice heavy.
I do as well. I just wish it fit me. Well, actually, no, it kind of does fit me now. I wish I didn't give it to him.
Damn. You should take his whole room, bro.
Sorry, John.
You should take it right now. John, if you're hearing this, I would look for that fucking sweatshirt in your closet. And once you're hearing this right now, this is me in the future saying, "Ha, made you look."
So I was getting gassing my shit up, and this lady comes up to me.
Yeah.
See, I was.
What is this? The intro to Kendrick Lamar's album with Lil Yachty or something?
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? No. Have you seen that with Lil Yachty? Like, no. Okay, it's a good meme. It's a good meme.
Oh shit! I might have to look into it. Someone will probably show me.
I'll plug you them up.
Alright, I was gassing up my shit, and I was talking to someone else across from me.
Talk that shit, Sway.
They had the same car as me, of course. I got mine was the flyest.
Wow.
But we got the same car. So when I was talking, I was like, "Hey, I like your car." He's like, "Oh, I like car too." Like,
bong bong.
Yeah, bet. Dude's like 70. Because obviously it's an old person's fucking car. It's an old car itself, you know.
Tell him.
And so I'm doing my thing.
Do it.
You know, I have a cig that's like in the fucking thing that I chose not to light because everyone looks at you funny when you fucking trying to pump gas and smoke a cig.
Yeah, because you're gonna blow me up.
You're not gonna blow anybody up.
You're gonna blow me up.
You can throw a cig into a gallon of gasoline and it won't ignite it. It'll put it out.
You get your dirty fucking rat stick out of this gas station.
Another one of them. Anyway, I was there and I'm like, whatever.
How dare you
gotta
think
do this.
That?
Again. Master of your own domain. This is my kingdom. Like,
yeah, dude. You should fucking just kill everybody else. Fuck them.
It's not harmful.
Fuck them.
It's probably the most harmful thing is the secondhand smoke.
Fuck empathy, dog.
I have empathy where it's needed, but not where it's
not
fucking
at the gas station. Blah, blah,
yeah,
blah.
Exactly. And then you got fucking people who don't even know how to pump gas. Let alone that. Actually, that's where this was going. This woman comes up to me. She looks fucking frazzled. She's like short. You can tell, you know, like she looks older than she is. She's probably had, you know, difficult like some shit, but she looks mad frazzled. And I was like, damn, like she's having an anxiety attack. Like, yeah, like you need to like take a fucking Xanax or to like chill or something.
Oh
like,
god,
take
Xanax.
A nap. Yeah, and that's another one. Everyone's abusing Xanax and shit. Y'all dumb as fuck, bro. That's the anti-anxiety medicine that actually like helps people. And everyone's out like
probably
abusing.
Wasn't 20 years ago.
Everyone's out 10 fucking 15 years ago. It was. It's only in the past like 10 years it's been abused. But the problem is everyone goes.
I'm talking about just as a medication.
Oh yeah, yeah.
For anxiety.
I mean, I see. The problem is everyone abuses it, and it puts a fucking bad light on. Everyone's like, "Oh, Xanax, that's bad." It's like, "Oh, like yeah, abusing drugs is pretty bad, bro." Like,
see, I think
use it how don't fucking abuse things.
I see that's the fucking prescription that the mass medicine people are putting out at the time, which is why I brought up the 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Probably wasn't.
I mean, no, it was. See, the thing is,
30.
Xanax, no, like 10,
40.
Like 20, 30 years ago,
50.
as far as I know, 90s is when benzos came on the scene big time, like late 80s, 90s.
Yeah.
But it was a lot more like, oh, you have anxiety, like a lot more easily prescribed.
Opium came over.
Even up to 10 years ago, it was a lot more easily prescribed.
10.
It's only in the past like 10 years that it's been like difficult. But anyway, I was the lady comes up to me, she looks frazzled. I'm like, damn, like, shit, you know, it puts things in perspective. And she needed help getting like air in her tires.
She wanted a light for her cig.
She needed yeah. She needed help putting air in her tires. So I was like when she first said that, I was like, oh yeah, okay. And then like, you know, again, like the inner mind is telling me, I'm like, yo, FS, this bitch is gonna kill you, B. Like, what do you mean she needs help with her tires? Like, are you fucking dumb? Like, drive off, dude. She's gonna fucking whoop your ass. Like, everyone's got guts. Arizona, everyone's walking around with guns and shit. Like, I don't have a gun, you know, so I'm like, I can't help. I don't even have a fucking even the cheap Kevlar. Like, I don't have shit. Gun. So I'm like, that's like
the
one
American way.
Yeah, exactly. A fucking
they got guns. I need a
great
gun.
American culture. But anyway, so like that's one corner of my mind is like, yo, this lady needs help putting air in her tires. Like, how can you drive a car and not know how to put air in your tires? Like, this is obviously a trap. You know, you should be cautious. Then the other side of me is like getting into an argument with the side that had just said what I just said before was like, nah, like she just needs help with it. Like, quit fucking overthinking it and everything. And I'm here here like, yeah, that's a good point. I mean,
when you're in this, are those sentences conscious as hell in your mind?
What do you mean by conscious? Like, as clear as it is right now?
Yes, how you.
Yeah, like more or less, it's the same. Like,
that's
it's the same. Like, well, here's.
Hell.
Yeah, it's very like, it's kind of no. That's why it's kind of frightening because
See, okay, so when I think of that, that's your external. Let's say just language processing, being inside of you, right? That's your internal. Your internal is your external. Most of the time, you would say.
Oh, like the shit that happens internally is pertaining to the external.
No. Just like how you would say that out loud, how you just did now, is how you would hear it in your head.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes, with most things.
Interesting.
Most things.
See, I think for me that's completely different.
How is it with you?
When I'm conversational, I don't think that's kind of how my inner monologue.
Oh, well, see. Okay, see,
No, just talking, man.
Okay.
Like how? I mean, do you talk out loud to yourself?
Sometimes I'll narrate shit to myself, but
no, like how you were just like kind of. Oh, she's. I mean, that's kind of different.
No. That sort of stuff doesn't get enunciated. More like when I talk to myself, it's more of like when I'm doing shit and I'm narrating what I'm doing.
Yeah, I think that's kind of.
I think everyone.
Have you ever kind of done the out loud inner monologue to yourself? Out loud.
Extreme cases.
Yeah.
Like extreme cases?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not the whole... It's like... Instead of being like, yo, like... She couldn't put gas in her... She couldn't... Like, this person's having trouble putting air in their tires. Like, that's pretty sus, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
Instead of it being like that, it would be like, yeah, this is sus.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be like as fucking verbose.
Interesting.
But even that, like, I don't think I really say that out... Yeah, unless it's like really extreme. You know, you're driving and a fucking you had a fucking pack of humans fly out of nowhere. You almost hit him. Oh fuck!
There's a human.
You know? Oh fuck! We're like in my head. I'm thinking like, bro, you dumb as hell for running in the street in the darkest part of the street, like right when a car's coming. You know what I mean? But like when I actually do it, I'm like, oh shit!
You got a lot of side versus side in your head, you know.
A lot of side versus, and that's where the characters that I have come out of.
Yeah, what kind of characters you got?
You know, we got all sorts of characters, but that's what they come out of is like the internal like bickering in one's head of like.
See, I don't have that, dude. I find that quite interesting. I think maybe generally
that concerns me.
No. Generally speaking, I think I'm on the end of the spectrum where it's kind of like if yours is towards the like a more extremist to the right, I think I'm more extremist to the left in that scenario.
I see.
I don't think. Well, see, this is also a thing when you never truly know another human's fucking mind, bro. Like you can never know someone else's experience, so it's kind of weird to.
Well, yeah.
Unless someone else says it, and then you kind of know. Somewhat,
no, but even that, yeah,
somewhat,
even that
you
you
never
get
know
like
for sure because
scratch from the surface.
You're only in this POV. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think I don't have the inner monologue / thinking of the masses. I think that's my gut feeling.
But like, what do you think? Like in your head, like you don't have anything going on.
I think usually. I love saying I think after all this. I think usually no. Usually no. I think a lot of times I have music in, and even when I'm not, it's kind of. Sometimes it might be observational things that are conscious in my mind, but I think a lot of the time I don't have just. I think there's just nothing, man. Maybe I'm just taking in data, and there's no just thought process. Consciously, of course. There's a bunch of subconscious things. Right. But yeah, I tend to lean. That's how my brain works. I'll try to be conscious of it later on and report back to you on episode 12.
So you're not thinking about stuff throughout the day?
No.
Or rather, what? Obviously, what? What are you thinking about?
I don't see now. Trying to remember what I think about is fucking hard, and I'll try to be conscious of it.
Well, no, but see, if you can't remember what you were thinking about,
yeah,
then it probably was nothing in the first place.
I think most of the time I'm not thinking of conscious things. No.
So what are you doing? Like when you're walking around, you go to class. Like, what do you like? What's like when you step and you move on the pavement and your knee bends, and you put your other foot out and you walk and your arms are swinging, like you're in motion. All this shit's happening. What's like
nothing? And see,
really,
see when you say that and say you put your foot forward and you think about your foot going forward, that part I think of just.
Because it's all the sensory. Like there's wind, there's that's blowing, that's making trees
windy,
move.
Blah, blah, blah.
Like
no,
like
just
there's all sorts of different like sensory things. That's why I'm saying like what.
Very just flowy, man. I think I'm just in it. You know what I mean? I think I'm just like in it, not thinking about being in it.
Kind of like a goldfish, one of those goldfish things at PetSmart.
Yeah.
Do you think they probably don't think?
See,
they're probably like, yo, I'm a fish.
Some are probably like, yo, I'm in a PetSmart, and another one's like, oh, I'm chilling in fucking West Street over here.
Yeah,
that kind of analogy.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, no, that is the analogy. Yeah,
I think. Some people. I just see like if I'm using the analogy of meditation to like waking life and just fucking walking around. I think when you're thinking about a bunch of shit and your fucking eye opens when you're trying to meditate, that is a good signal to what you would be doing when you're just kind of your normal mental state walking around. And so if you can kind of get lost in that fucking mental flow state, you get kind of just lost. And just, I think most of the time I'm just kind of in a flowy, just being high key. And I'm of course probably over exaggerating this to some extent. Just
well, yeah, I mean it has to be described.
There's nuances of fucking life. Life is weird as fuck. But I think most of the time I don't have fucking just sentences firing off in my head.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
But then again, I'm also listening to music a lot. And I think music is just that the music is the what takes that place sometimes.
It is, and it's also it's what creates whatever like not creates, but it's what brings out whatever emotion you're feeling.
But see, let's say I'm listening to just an instrumental piece, right? I think that is an okay analogy to a thinking state of my normal. I think when you got a bunch of sentences going off in your head, it's a rap song, and you just kind of say you're dissecting shit. The lines, and versus just kind of walking around to an instrumental vibe. Kind of get it. Vibe versus dissect. Ja feel.
I guess I dissect everything.
Yeah,
that's a thing, but that's a trait of anxiety again.
Yeah,
as well. But like, yeah, I kind of get you.
Mm-hmm. The dissecting is what makes, I think, when you have a bunch of conscious sentences in your head, I think that is dissecting is a good word to describe what that is.
Oh yeah. No, big time.
Yeah,
it's a breakdown.
The Netflix show, of course. Nothing else.
Netflix.com.
Netflix.com. I'm sorry. We love to say the. What are those called at the dot endings? What are those called?
Suffix.
URL suffixes.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's interesting. That's always interesting and nothing else. I love the interesting.
What kind of food you like?
What kind of food do I like?
I'm big on food.
See, okay, I've been asked what's your favorite food before, and just like I think it's indicative of the other kind of. I don't have a favorite food. And I think, do you have a favorite food?
Not just one.
You have a few favorite foods?
Yeah.
That's interesting as well.
Yeah.
I don't think I have a favorite food. I fuck with pupusas heavy.
Do you like food?
No.
This is something I've noticed.
No.
Everybody like leaves leftovers and shit. Like I never leave leftovers.
Oh no. I enjoy the nutrition food gives me.
Wait, isn't that selfish though?
Yeah, that's your survival thing.
Yeah. See, okay. Yeah. Not to digress, but like, I don't think surviving is selfish.
No, it innately is.
No, I don't think so. I think selfishness is in the realm of doing something.
You have to be selfish to survive.
No, I think being selfish is in the realm of doing something to better your position in a in more of a social context. I think of selfish as more of a social thing. Okay. I don't think that you're selfish because you survived. I think you're selfish because you did something that or that you didn't do something, whatever that would have made inconvenience to you.
More 2018 human social context. I think
1970. Hey, can you give me a ride? I really need to go to the DMV.
And
you're sitting at home doing fucking whatever the fuck you were doing, and you're like, "Nah, I'm busy." That's selfish because it's like, no, you're not busy. You could have helped your friend out. See, that's selfish because it was
human centric.
Social context.
I think surviving, even if
I think like, yo, we need to get a fire so we don't get fucking hypothermia. I don't think that's, or even if it's I need to get a fire so I don't get like, I don't think that's selfish. I think that's kind of like,
what is it then? But it is selfish.
It's taking care of yourself. I don't think taking care of yourself is selfish.
But
in fact, I think not taking care of yourself is selfish.
I think you're hearing selfish and you're hearing negative connotation with a social context in 2018.
Wait, can you repeat that?
I think when you're hearing selfish, you're hearing a negative connotation.
Yes, no, it isn't. To me, selfish has a negative connotation.
Sure.
To a degree. Because at the same time, you are yourself.
Survival isn't negative.
No.
So I think.
I mean, unless you just hate surviving, but.
Surviving is selfish because you have to keep your body alive. That is being conscious of yourself.
Yeah, no, I get that part. I think of selfish as more of like in the social context of things.
Okay.
Is all. Like,
okay.
I don't think surviving is
But even when you're saying that, you're describing like the negative social connotation of the word selfish.
Yeah, because I think I think selfish is just like the F word or the B word.
I don't think
it's
so.
a negative fucking word.
That's not self-love if you're saying that.
No. I don't think it has anything to do with self-love or self-loathing. I think selfish is a negative word in my vocabulary. It's the same way.
See,
bitch,
I think that's what
people. Elias, he throws that word around like it's nothing. Shout out to DobyHouseRecords.com. He throws that shit around like it's nothing. I don't like that word. Different perspectives, different people,
different POV.
I think selfish is a fucking. I don't like that word. Cruz called me selfish once, and it really just I saw red for a solid like 10 seconds. I don't like the word selfish. I don't think it's a positive word. I don't think anything that's positive and giving and nurturing and nourishing for yourself and for other people is selfish.
It's very healthy to know that there's little fucking avatars that you're walking around, if you don't mind me getting existential, and that's what you fucking have to fucking take care of.
What do you mean?
You have your body you're in your body, and you have to make sure that is alive, or else you, whatever that is, dies.
Yeah.
And knowing that is, and kind of saying that to other people will be like, yo, if I don't eat something and you're eating, I die. That's having everybody knowing that we're just individuals, you know what I'm saying? Even when you're in this big...
Wait, you mean like announcing it to people?
The dialect of being like, yo, we're all individual people here. Let's say in the analogy of Adobe House Records, right? Say we're in this pod, just like we're in a fucking pod of fucking Earth, let's say. And a bunch of individual parts make up a whole. And you have the survival technique of the individual becomes the whole, kind of, where we all protect ourselves,
right?
And therefore we protect
one is good for all.
The whole, which is in essence ourselves now. But when you say that, when you realize that we are just kind of those individuals, and say having your own, for example, your avenue to work, say you, along with Adobe House Music Group, you have fucking mixing or production on the side,
right?
That's somewhat of a selfish thing. Do you not think, though? You don't think that's selfish? Okay,
let me see if I'm understanding what you're saying. You're saying you do something. Say you do music with Adobe House.
Sure.
But then you also mix and master on the side.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, like, you have your own independent,
yes,
like thing where you sell your mixing and mastering services to other random people.
Yes. You don't think that's
what makes that selfish?
It's
forget about like why is it or is it what would make it selfish?
try to take the negative connotation. I want to use a different word besides selfish now.
Loving yourself. You give a fuck about yourself.
Yes.
That doesn't. Yeah. No. I guess loving yourself, giving a fuck about yourself.
You think is not so.
That and selfish or no.
Different
I don't like the idea of selfish being a positive word. I think selfish is a negative word.
Okay. Doing things that are centered for yourself.
No, not centered for yourself. That's a bad spin. That's almost just as bad. Loving yourself. Centered for yourself. That's a center. You're self-centric. Self-centered. That's not good. That's not good.
But you have to be self-centered to be alive.
You have to be cognizant of your existence
yes.
to keep it moving. But I don't think that by being... I'm trying to think of how I can make this like more clear.
Sure.
Do you see selfish as neutral? Obviously, you don't see it as negative, but do you see it as neutral or positive?
It can be both negative and positive.
Okay, so it's dynamic.
Yes.
Well, no, it's not neutral. It's
dynamic. Yes.
Okay. So,
and there's a there's a healthy amount of being selfish, knowing that, say, we're not always going to be in the Adobe House Records analogy. We're not always to provide for yourself is a necessary thing. We don't want to be able to have. We don't want to have to.
I get what you're saying.
You want your own property. You don't want You don't want to be an. What's the word?
You want yourself to be established.
Self-sustainable.
Sure.
Self-sustainability, I would say, is a selfish trait.
Using
my dynamic word of selfishness.
I don't see self-sustainability as a trait.
Wanting to be
self-sustainable. I think everybody wants to be.
And I think that is being my dynamic selfishness.
Well, when I think everybody wants to be self-sustainable, to me that means
not everybody wants to be.
I think that most people would like to not rely on somebody else.
Yes.
I don't think that's out of selfishness. I think that's more so of like you want to be in charge of your ship.
Yeah.
I like driving my car rather than other people driving my car when I'm in it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's in a selfish vein. I think it's just in a simply like...
This whole language thing is really fucking it all up.
No, it is, but it's also like, I get what you're saying is selfish. Like, yeah, you're doing it for yourself, so it's like selfish.
No, there's no troll tone to what you're saying.
Oh, no, I didn't mean it like that, but I'm saying there's... I can't see selfish in that light because it's like, to me, a selfish person is someone that puts their own fucking needs in front of other people when there's significant like consequences of it. That's how I see selfishness. Where obviously if it's like, yeah, I can't give you a ride to school today because I'm in fucking class and I've been here early. Like that's a different sort of selfishness than like, oh, I'm not doing it. Oh, like you're getting a call. Oh, collect call from whatever county, you accept it, and then you're like, oh yeah, like. I can't help you. Yeah, sorry. And they're, like that's or not even that. That's a bad example. Say that happens. You get a call from somebody, and they're like, "Yo, like, I need you to meet up with so and so and go and take out X amount of money from the bank and come here and like bail me out and shit." Saying like, "No, like, I'm not gonna do that. That sucks for you." Like, that's selfish, and you're a fucking asshole for doing that because for whatever
other
reason,
people are suffering from your self-centeredness, that is bad.
When other people suffer, yes. However, there is a level though. There's levels to this shit. Like the example with the bail, that's an extreme. Not being able to give someone a ride because you have other obligations.
See,
is completely like that's just
the
part
negativity
of like you're
the negativity that you're getting from selfishness has to do with other people.
Well,
and I think that matters. Yes, but
selfishness. The concept of selfishness relies on other people. In my opinion.
Yeah.
If there's nobody else to be like bitching about you, then the word selfishness wouldn't have even been invented. Selfishness relies on other people, in my opinion.
Okay. And I would say
I think
that's
a person
also true and not true because if you're taking care of yourself, if
there
was no other people.
No, here's one.
No, let me talk.
Yeah, okay.
If there was no other people, Jesus fuck. If there was no other people, you're still trying to make sure your body is still alive. I say that is being selfish.
Okay. When you say there's no other people, the example I was thinking was a person that lives by themselves. They have no fucking family, no friends, no significant others.
On an island by yourself.
No, not even. No.
My example.
Okay, well, I was going with something more realistic. I wake up, I go to work. I make whatever fucking small talk at work that I have to. You know, other than that, I don't hang out. I don't hang out with anybody. I go home. I cook my meal. Whatever. I basically am a homebody that doesn't leave the fucking house, okay? Parents are both dead. No extended family. No significant others. No nobody. It's just you. At that point, there's only one or two, like, very specific examples I can think of that would be selfish. But for the most part, at that point, there's not really any room for selfishness because there's nobody in your life.
Okay.
The most selfish thing a person like that could do is turn down giving fucking $1 or buying a fucking water for like a homeless person. That's the most selfish
definition of every
thing.
time you're saying selfishness
Is a
has
negative
to do
thing.
with it has to do with other people.
Yes, because,
negativity of other
no,
people.
yeah, exactly. Because to me, selfishness it relies on other people more than it relies on yourself.
I think the man who's by himself just goes to work and comes home is working, living a self-centered life.
They don't have anyone else.
Yeah.
What's supposed to be centered on?
Them.
Exactly, but like I see that it sounds negative to me. It has a negative context.
I think every living being has to be selfish, self-centered, so they don't die. Because at the end of the day, every being needs to be alive.
I wouldn't consider that selfish. I just consider that like everybody realizes they have to take care of themselves.
Yeah. I think
that's
that
not
is
like
healthy.
that's not like yeah.
So what I'm saying, let's break now.
So selfish means taking care of yourself. We're all selfish.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't agree. I don't agree with that like terminology of selfish. I think selfish means
taking care. I think there's a healthy, and I think a lot of what I was saying before about everyone kind of saying the selfishness is a big part of life. I'm saying that taking care of yourself is generally not like vocalized a lot, and I think that's where that's
why there's a lot of problems.
Saying that out loud of being like, yes, I must take care of myself allows some people, if they're kind of well off and well in the head, gives a pathway for empathy. I think if you're saying to everybody like, yeah, we all got to be alive and we all got to take care of ourselves, there's room for empathetic acts in living to come in through that. What do you think, FanningSystems? What do you hear? What do you say? This is 2 hours. You've had your platform, motherfucker. Say your last sentence.
Later. I'm not very empathetic, and I have trouble with understanding empathy.
So you're selfish.
No. Just most people aren't really worth the time to worry about. There's only really the people that are close to you that you care most about are like who's going to get the empathy or like
you're selective with your empathy.
More or less.
I would say I would be the same.
More or less, yes. But I see again, like selfish, like you're doing that because you're trying to take care of yourself. No, that's not selfishness. And in my negative context, you're doing that. That's you being selfish because someone's getting the short end of the stick. Like, no, that's not selfishness either. I don't think selfishness even has a place in this specific example. I think it's just like you gotta do stuff. That would be like saying like, here, put it this way. When I got the computer in the mail, okay, UPS delivered it. I was walking home and I see the UPS truck like a few blocks before my house. So I asked the driver, "Hey, you drop off a package for 232?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'm not supposed to because you got to sign for it, but I know how everyone wants their, like, because it says Apple on it. Everyone's like, everyone wants their Apple product, right? So, by your definition, that would be selfless, correct? Because he didn't have to do that. He did it out of like, kindness.
Thinking of someone else's thoughts. Yes.
Okay. See, I don't think that is selfless. I think that's like, you're going in this direction of travel. It's easier if you just drop this shit off now.
That's putting a perspective in someone else's perspective that you don't know.
That's the thing. I don't.
You don't
think
know
of
what
it
that
like
man
that.
was thinking.
I don't. I have no idea. I know it was a man.
Okay.
As far as I know, there's a lot of genders. You got all sorts of shit. I'm a mic stand. That's all. I'm a car actually. Trans people.
I'm John.
Fucking. I don't think. Again, like people. It's common sense. It's what's efficient. I don't think like that notion of like, yeah, that's because you're putting perspective on it. That's a thing. However, for this example, I don't think that notion of like, oh yeah, it's because it's easier and it's efficient. I don't think that's radical enough to be like, oh, you're putting perspectives in. I think that's just like, nah, you're fucking at work. It's almost like 6 o'clock. You're ready to go home. You're trying to be efficient. It's not like, but you don't, it's common sense.
All these things that you're saying is just your own, I forget the word now, but just you thinking all these scenarios up, man.
Yeah. And see, that's kind of like, again, anxiety.
Yeah.
You leave no room for,
unknown.
Essentially, you have to solve it all.
But
yourself.
This is you're making those knowns, and those knowns probably aren't right most of the time, statistically.
Some of them are. I mean, in this case, obviously, the dude's trying to get home.
You don't know that.
No, that's the thing, man. Like,
you don't know that. No,
you're right. I don't know.
Yeah.
He could be like, yo, I don't want to go home. The fucking woman I'm with that birthed my kid is a fucking
now
bitch,
you're just making
and I hate this
bunch
yada
of
yada.
storylines.
No, I'm giving
man.
anecdotes. No, well, you said I don't know, so I'm gonna give you a couple anecdotes of what it could be because you said I don't know. It could be anything. In my opinion, I'm pretty sure I can sense human suffering. I can sense when people are happy. I can sense when people are not happy. I can sense when people fucking hate themselves. I can sense when people don't fucking know any better, and that's why they're fucking just running around like a fucking chicken with his head cut off. I can sense it. So from that, I give myself a lot of like, it's the intuition. There's a certain level of intuition that you either like trust or don't trust for, again, whatever reason. That's kind of a different story. But my intuition has been pretty damn accurate on a lot of things. So like for this example, like I'm pretty sure the dude was like, yeah, it's probably just going to be easier if I drop this off so I don't have to fucking come back.
Sure.
And again, I don't think that's crazy or like, so, no, but see things like social anxiety, like, oh my God, everyone's looking at me and yada, yada, this and that. Yeah, that's unreasonable. Like, probably tripping, probably not true. In a case like this, though, it's very cut and dry. It's very black and white.
What? Okay. I'm saying, bro, you have all that, and you could be right. But you're putting such a big fucking narrative on this fucking thing. It's all just fucking stemming from your head, man.
I
understand.
Welcome, like, this is anxiety.
And
this is like,
that sounds like a bunch of bullshit to me.
That sucks. You know, it's like, which part of it though?
It sounds convoluted. You're trying to fucking make this 10 different possible storylines and
I'm not trying to make possible.
Seeing which one works.
I was giving you
intuition
anecdotes.
You're talking about.
I was giving you anecdotes. It's not about seeing which one works. It's more of like, you look at something that's happening and you put the pieces together real quickly. This person's doing XYZ for XYZ.
And I'm saying,
again, this isn't
having so much
generalizing
confidence
this is just like
that
common
you're thinking you're
place.
right about that, I think is convoluted.
In what like convoluted? When I think of convoluted, I think of hard to understand or like transcribe. What do you mean by convoluted in this context?
I think now you just fucking. I don't know, dude.
I'm just trying to understand.
Yeah, I know. You put a bunch of definitions and you just put a big brown wall in my head. Man.
To me, it sounds like you weren't prepared for that.
Yeah,
but
I wasn't.
What does it
free
mean?
Flowing.
I
don't know what convoluted means.
I don't know what you mean by that. Like it's hectic. Like there's a lot happening.
No, dumb.
Dumb?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. It definitely makes things more difficult, and that's like
I
that's
think
what I'm
having
working on.
so much confidence where you can know this man's life is absurd.
Yeah.
And that's where we stop it, ladies and gentlemen. This podcast has been long and just rambling. God damn it, Jonathan Galdamez.
I'm God.
But it's fucking free-flowing, and so much free-flowing that this motherfucker wouldn't stop unless there was a faucet put on him. Thank you for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, I'll be back next time. We can talk about depression and suicide by cop. We'll have a lot of fun. This has been FS, Felicidad Salvador.
Where can they find you?
And you can find me on Bandcamp. You can find me on AdobeHouseRecords.com.
What do they look
You can
up?
find me on a lot of different things. I'm going to be back here soon, like I said, and we'll be talking about some more pressing issues. And these blinds are... I'm sitting in this room, and these blinds are dusty as hell.
I'm Caller John. You can find... let's just keep talking for 6 more hours. You could, I know.
This is great.
I understand,
just
bro.
The platform.
God damn it, you didn't need me here at all. I understand.
I just started doing this myself.
I know you should. God damn it.
Probably won't happen though.
Why not? Okay. You can find me on, College Shirt on Instagram. I got a twitch.tv/CallerJohn now. I just stream a bunch of stuff there. This is Dark Racial Humor.
Nothing related.
No, it doesn't relate. Free flowing, motherfuckers.
Free flowing. We flow freely. FS.
Goodbye.